The Toronto Blue Jays are staring down a decision that could define their competitive window, and it has a price tag of roughly $75 million. That's the difference, the financial chasm, between the contract of José Berríos and the deal Sandy Alcántara is on. A new blockbuster trade proposal is making the rounds, and unlike most fantasy baseball fodder, this one has a frightening logic to it. It's a move that would send shockwaves from the Rogers Center to Lone Depot Park, fundamentally altering the landscape of the AL East. The proposal is this. The Blue Jays acquire former Cy Young winner Sandy Alcántara from the Miami Marlins. In return, Miami gets a package headlined by right-hander José Berríos, top infield prospect Arjun Nimmala, and pitching prospect Jake Bloss. Let's cut right to the chase. This isn't about a simple player-for-player swap. This is a complex asset and financial reallocation. Ross Atkins and the front office aren't just trading players. They're trading dollars, years of control, and philosophies. Berríos is in the 5th year of a 7-year, $131 million contract. He's a known commodity, a durable arm who, when he's on, can be a solid number 2 or 3 starter. But that contract pays him like an ace through his age 34 season in 2028, with a player opt-out after 2026 that complicates future planning. Now look at Alcántara. He's pitching on a 5-year, $56 million deal. That is one of the most team-friendly contracts for an elite starting pitcher in all of baseball. It runs through this season, with a club option for 2027 at just $21 million. For a pitcher who threw over 228 innings with a 2.28 ERA to win the Cy Young in 2022, that value is almost impossible to quantify. This season he's already leading the majors with 35.1 innings pitched over 5 starts, posting a 3.06 ERA. He's a workhorse. He's an innings-eater in the truest sense of the term, and that's a currency the Blue Jays desperately need right now. Swapping Berríos for Alcántara would effectively clear significant long-term salary off the books post-2026, giving the Jays immense flexibility to extend their own core guys, perhaps Bo Bichette or even Vladimir Guerrero Jr., or to be major players in future free agency classes. From a pure COTS baseball contracts perspective, it's a masterstroke of financial engineering, but it comes at a staggering cost. That cost begins with Arjun Nimmala. We're talking about the Blue Jays' first-round pick from 2023, a shortstop with a ceiling as high as the CN Tower. This is not a throw-in prospect. Nimmala represents the future of the Blue Jays' infield. He's the type of player you build around, not trade away. Giving him up is a clear and undeniable signal that the front office believes the window to win a World Series is right now, and the future can be dealt with later. It's a move that depletes a farm system that is already considered middle of the pack. Then you add Jake Bloss, the club's number 8 prospect. Another arm, another piece of the future pipeline. In today's game, where pitching depth is everything, trading away a promising right-hander alongside your top infield prospect for a single player, even one of Alcántara's caliber, is a monumental gamble. The Marlins, a team perpetually in a rebuild, would be acquiring a cost-controlled, high-ceiling infielder, a promising arm, and a ready-made MLB starter in Berríos to eat innings for them immediately. For Miami, it's a home run. For Toronto, it's a move born of desperation. And let's be honest, there's a current of desperation in the air at one Blue Jays way. A 7-13 start isn't just a slow start. It's a 5-alarm fire in the AL East. The Yankees and Orioles are not waiting around. The Jays are already looking up at them in the standings. And the rotation has been a significant part of the problem. With 3 starters currently on the IL and Kevin Gausman struggling to find his ace form, the bullpen is being taxed to its absolute limit. John Schneider is managing every game like it's Game 7, and we're not even in May. This is where the on-field argument for Alcántara becomes so compelling. Forget the contract for a moment. What does he do for the 2026 Blue Jays? He ends the bullpen game meta. An average of 7 innings per start, as he's demonstrated this year, is a manager's dream. It resets the entire pitching staff. It means Jordan Romano, Yimi Garcia, and Chad Green are only used in high-leverage situations they are designed for, not for mop-up duty in the 6th inning. Imagine a healthy rotation fronted by Kevin Gausman and Sandy Alcántara. That's a 1-2 punch that rivals any in the American League. It's a duo that can go toe-to-toe with Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon. It puts Chris Bassett and Yusei Kikuchi in the 3 and 4 spots, where they are arguably among the best in the league. Suddenly, the Blue Jays' biggest weakness becomes its most formidable strength. The run differential would improve. The pressure on the offense to score 6 or 7 runs a night would ease, and the entire complexion of the team would change overnight. But we have to talk about José Berríos, the centerpiece going back to Miami. He's yet to debut this season due to injury, which complicates his trade value immensely. When healthy, he's been a stalwart, a 200-inning pitcher himself. But his performance has been a roller coaster. His ERA plus has fluctuated, and the underlying metrics, like his FIP, have sometimes suggested he's been more lucky than good. Is his time in Toronto running its course? Perhaps. But trading a player while he's on the injured list is a risky proposition. It screams that you're selling low, even if the return is a Cy Young winner. This entire scenario hinges on one critical question. Is the 2026 Blue Jays roster, with the addition of Sandy Alcántara, good enough to win the World Series? Because if it's not, then you've traded a king's ransom for nothing. You've given up your best infield prospect and a quality arm for 2 seasons of an ace, only to find yourself in the same position in 2028, but with a barren farm system. The counter-argument is that you have to strike while the iron is hot. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette are in their prime. George Springer, while aging, is still a productive player. The core is here now. Waiting for prospects like Nimmala to develop could mean waiting until after the Vladdy and Bo era has passed. Baseball windows close faster than you can imagine. This is the kind of aggressive, all-in move that championship teams make. The Astros trade for Verlander. The Rangers trade for Scherzer. This would be the Blue Jays' version of that statement. Ultimately, a trade of this magnitude feels like a panic button, but sometimes pressing that button is the correct move. The slow start has exposed the cracks in this team's foundation, primarily the lack of a true, undeniable, innings-eating ace who can stop a losing streak single-handedly. Kevin Gausman is supposed to be that guy, but he hasn't been so far this year. Sandy Alcántara is that guy. So, what's the insider verdict? While this specific construction might be a long shot, the logic behind it is sound. The Blue Jays front office has to be exploring ways to drastically improve the starting rotation, and Alcántara is the biggest and best prize potentially available. Moving Berríos' contract would be the key to making it work financially. The real sticking point will be Nimmala. Is Ross Atkins willing to part with his 2023 first-rounder? That answer will tell you everything you need to know about how he views this team's chances, not in 2028, but right now, in 2026. This is the kind of move that gets a GM extended or gets him fired. There is no in-between. It's a franchise-altering decision that would be debated in Toronto for the next decade. It's a fascinating proposal, and one that forces the Blue Jays to look in the mirror and decide exactly who they are. Are they a team building for sustained success, or are they a team going for broke? The next few months will give us our answer. If you want to stay on top of every rumor and every piece of analysis coming out of the Rogers Center, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'll be here breaking it all down as the trade deadline approaches. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you make this trade?